Seriously, you know what we really need to do? Walk by faith, not feelings. Feelings change. One minute I feel good, the next minute I don't. Without faith, we're lost. And after years of doing this work, talking to people, being with people, reading emails and whatnot, I've come to really see, and in my own life too, where faith, the lack of faith, is a serious problem. It's a serious condition because when we don't have faith, we trust in feelings a lot of times, and a lot of times those feelings can really deceive us. So with that being said, I thought I wanted to sit down today and do something a little bit different, and that is to share with you an email that I just got 3 days ago from a fellow who asked me that if I do share his email to respect that I don't say his name, which I won't, but I do appreciate this email because I think it can really help a lot of you when you're at a time in your life where you're confused about the voice you hear or the guidance that you're hearing. You start out feeling like, yeah, this is good, and then you move into, oh, maybe it's not so good. So have a listen to his email and my reply along with some commentary that I'll give with it. So he says, Hi Deanna, I was so excited when I received your email about your Egypt tour, and it does look amazing. Thank you. I've always wanted to go to Egypt, and I finally have the time and the money. When I viewed the pictures on your website of all the temples and the desert and the camels, the pyramids and all the smiling faces, my heart started to pound. I had goosebumps and I really felt almost breathless. Wow. And I actually heard a voice inside of my head. The voice said in that very moment, go to Egypt. You have to go to Egypt. As I continued viewing and reading testimonies on the website, the feeling to go grew even stronger. It has been a few days since I read the very first email from ATL, and at first I was so gung-ho to go. I felt so excited, but suddenly I am so afraid of joining the tour that I thought I better write to you. When I actually think about being in Egypt, I feel frozen to go. I am paralyzed. What is going on? He actually wrote, what the hell is going on? Why was I so excited at first? And now I'm scared out of my mind. It doesn't make sense to me. Please help me understand because I'm really confused about hearing the voice of guidance. And I thought I wouldn't be afraid if I was hearing or following the voice of the Holy Spirit. What? I don't get it. Thank you for helping me gain clarity. Thank you so much for your email. Can you see why I wanted to share it with you? Have you ever had that? Where you get this boom. That's it. I'm going. I'm doing it. I'm changing my career path. I'm moving house, whatever. And then, boom, something comes in and you're scared and you stay stuck. All right. So this is what I wrote him. Dear, thank you so much for your interest in our upcoming Egypt tour. Let me help you to put your mind at rest by telling you that over the last nearly 2 decades of taking groups to Egypt, I've had many people share with me your exact sentiments about answering the call. So I really have. I can name, I won't say the names, but I could name probably 5 on one hand, all 5 fingers, 5 people that have either called me, sent me an email, even those who had already booked the tour, they deposited the money and suddenly said, oh my God, I can't go. I changed my mind. Okay? So, first of all, just know that, and by the way, this fellow is also a student of the Course in Miracles. He's been studying the Course in Miracles. So, first of all, just know that the curriculum of the Holy Spirit is highly individualized, meaning that there is a blueprint within each one of us that, when followed, leads us to our purpose and gives meaning to our lives. You do not know what anything is for. That is why you're afraid. The ego thinks it knows everything, and it analyzes everything, right? But you don't know what anything is for, and when we don't know what it's all about, we become afraid. The ego thinks it knows everything. So whenever you're afraid, you're listening to the voice of the ego. The ego does not want you to advance, and its existence is based on deception. Deceiving yourself that you truly are created in the image and in the likeness of God. Which brings me to this. I wanted to show you this. Look at that. Isn't that cute? This is the mirror of Hathor. And actually, in Dendara, in her temple, she's the goddess of love and joy and childbirth, fertility. On the ceiling of her temple in Egypt, oh, I think I have it here. There is the mirror. Can you see that? That's called the Mirror of Hathor with the Eye of Horus in it. And it's really a symbol. It's letting us know that you are the mirror of God. You are the mirror image of God. Don't be deceived by this negative, these fear-based thoughts. Don't be deceived by any of that. You are an emanation, a reflection of the beauty of God. So, the Holy Spirit calls you to remember who you are and uses things in time and space to help you wake up. So for some of us, I know for me, Egypt is my love. I love studying archaeology. I love history. I love the esoteric and metaphysical teachings. I love what the ancients have brought to us. I love that. And the Holy Spirit is using that in my life. And for all of you out there who've joined me in Egypt, and for you, email writer, who are being called to Egypt, that the Holy Spirit is using that. It's something in time and space that's going to help you remember something. To remember, to forgive the dream, for the healing of your mind. The Holy Spirit uses everything in time and space to help you wake up. She knows your past. That's amazing. The Spirit knows everything about your past and your future. And therefore, she knows exactly what you need to bring you into alignment with your soul's blueprint that will ultimately bring you to a place of peace and joy. Because remember, being a Course in Miracles student, we read in the Course that joy, right, God's perfect will for you is perfect joy, perfect happiness. That's God's will for you. So when the Holy Spirit calls you, just become like a child. When you get something, a download of something, and you think, what is that all about? What? Okay. Be curious. Stay curious. Be childlike, because a child is so curious about everything. They're so open. They're not in a box. They're not closed down. No, they're open. That's why they stick their fingers in fire and stick their fingers in sockets. They're curious about everything. So just be curious and be open to be shown what it's all about. Maintain curiosity, and that will move you away from judgment. Just stay curious. Be open. Okay? Remember, curiosity cancels out judgment. Should I go? Shouldn't I go? Should I do this? Shouldn't I do that? Remember, it's all about forgiveness. Forgiving those fear-based thoughts, forgiving the dream, forgiving the anxiety and stress, and forgiving the past, being right here in the moment and trusting. It's about the healing of your mind. So we stay present. Forgive those fear-based thoughts and go for the gold. Strive to reach a place in your heart where you have no will of your own. How about that one? No will of your own. Self-will has run riot on the planet. Self-will, your own will telling you what it thinks you should do. But what if you had no will of your own and you were just totally following God's will? That would lead you to a place of happiness and peace. When you have no will of your own, you will know God's perfect will for you. In whatever you're facing in your life, whatever situation, in this case, it's should I go to Egypt? But whatever you're facing, have no will of your own. Move into a place of complete and total surrender. Here's the question. Do you really want God's will for you? Do you really want God's will for your life? You will truly know His will when you surrender your own will. Remember, the will of the ego is fear-based. It keeps you stuck. It keeps you small. It keeps you in this place of not growing, in complacency. That's no fun. That is no fun. You just stay safe. That is no fun. When you give up your own will, just give up that will. What is your will for me? Praying as Jesus did. Not my will, but thy will be done in my life. Remember, when you live contrary to God's perfect will for you, you will experience conflict. That's should I go? Shouldn't I go? Should I go? Shouldn't I go? When you feel the voice of love, of truth coming through you, it's like goosebumps and yes, and if you say yes to the call, and you're surrendering your will, you're saying thy will be done, right? That's the end of the struggle. But you do have to cultivate something else to be able to bring what it is into manifestation, to be able to carry that through. When negative feelings come in after the calling of your heart and you become afraid, oftentimes those scary feelings are there to deceive you. That's all. Don't follow the feeling of deception, telling you can't go, why would you want to go, that's really dumb. Or for those of you that have been there, if you I've been there already, why am I going again, blah, blah, blah. You know what we need to cultivate? Faith. That's when you need to learn to walk in faith, not by sight. Walk in faith, not by sight. The truth is, we were made for God. We're made in His image and after His likeness. And until we embrace that, there is a restlessness in the heart. We need to rest in His grace. Rest in His grace. We are being guided in every moment. Guided with God's perfect will for our happiness. We are being guided. So you know what? Do what Jesus said in the Bible, actually. Go into your closet and close the door. And pray with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your soul. Surrender your own will completely to the will of God. And reach a place in your heart where you have absolutely no will of your own. That's something to contemplate. No will of my own. Thy will. I mean, can you imagine if it's a good time to talk about it because Easter's right around the corner. And so remember Jesus, he went into the garden to pray. He went into Gethsemane. And can you imagine the fear? He had feelings of fear. Of course he did. We're all human. But he heard the call. And he listened. And he had faith. And he had trust. And he said, thy will be done. That's a beautiful story for us to apply to our own lives where we are in the struggle and we're trying to live out of our own will, the will of the ego that wants what it wants. The Course in Miracles says what you think you want could kill you. what you think your desires are could cause you, oh my goodness, pain and suffering for years. But if you follow the will of God, you're going to have to cultivate faith. Walk by faith. And in the end, Jesus was crucified, but metaphorically speaking, he submitted his will. He submitted his will to the will of his Father. Not my will, thy will be done. And in the end, he said, Father, into thy hands I commend my spirit. So the truth is, we were made for God. We are made in his image and after his likeness. And there is a restlessness in our hearts until we rest in his grace. So go into your closet and close the door and pray with all your heart, mind, and soul, surrendering that will completely to the will of God. When you do that, you reach a place in your heart where you have absolutely no will of your own. You are always following the guidance. Beloved Holy Spirit, increase in me the capacity for faith and show me God's will for my life. My prayer is for clarity, to trust in the Word, and to follow with faith, whatever it is you would have me do. So I hope this helps you, and to my dear brother who sent me the email, I hope this answer helps you get your answer coming from the grace of God in you. So again, I want to remind you that Egypt is right around the corner. We go, I think it's the 5th or so. Check my website because I don't have the date in my mind, the exact date, but I know it's the first week or so of September. It also includes a fabulous trip to Jordan. There's some amazing ancient sites there. And of course, for newcomers, I've been going to Egypt for almost 2 decades. I have been studying chematology and Egyptology for a long time now. So I will present to you a lot of things that are not going to be found in the textbooks. I'm so excited. I also want to show you this. I find this interesting. So now we have Egypt, 7,000 years of history. This is a great book. We get one more there. It used to say 5,000 years of history, but I guess they're figuring out some other things. But there are secrets and mysteries all there for us. So if you're so inclined to join us and it's in your heart, follow it. You won't be disappointed. And just remember, it's part of your personalized, individualized curriculum. So with that, I wish you an amazing week. We're at midweek, and I'm not going to close without saying I love you. And you know that I do. So until next time, take good care.